can't think of a worse scenario. You randomly get arrested one day. You have no idea why. You go to court. They think it's you, but the whole time the crime that you were being blamed for was committed by a ghost. The court systems are never gonna believe that story, that a ghost robbed a bank, or even worse, everyone thinks that a ghost committed a crime and was actually committed by a person and they get away scot-free. Hello again, Most Amazing Top 10 family. I am your host, Che Dorena, and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. Today we are going into a world that I didn't know existed before this video with our list of top 10 crimes that were committed by ghosts. And if you at home want some more Most Amazing Top 10 content, you should check us out on Instagram and Facebook, and stick around until the end of this list because I'm going to be answering some questions from my Instagram inbox. If you want me to answer your question, you can hit me up through the gram. Without taking any longer, let's get into this list. Coming at number 10, we have drug possession. Yo, my plug is a ghost. He's got will send you to the astral plane. One hit of this ghost bud and you're gonna feel so alive that you're dead. This story was copped right off of Reddit and it is wild. A Redditor wrote about small baggies of cannabis that started showing up in their apartment. Now this sounds like stoner talk that's like, oh, I got too high that I forgot where I left my weed, but apparently this person didn't smoke at all. The baggies were perfectly good herb and were just coming out of thin air. They would just show up in the morning when they woke up. Of course, the first thing that this Redditor thought wasn't that it was a ghost. They probably thought that it was some sort of Robin Hood of bud who was stealing green from government dispensaries and spreading it out amongst the poor. Well, they set up a camera and they said the baggie of loud just floated in through the window and landed on the kitchen counter. I can't tell if this ghost should be arrested or is the coolest ghost of all time. Coming at number 9, we have Not on the New Leather. When I started writing this list, I thought these ghostly criminals would be committing crimes like theft and murder, but it turns out that some of them are just perverts who want you to watch them bang on your sofa. Diane Carlisle said that the crime that was committed to her by some ghosts was the act of indecent exposure when two ghosts appeared in her living room and started having sex in front of her. I mean, if there's ever been a time to get down and dirty, it has to be the afterlife. All you have is time and you don't have to worry about spreading any STDs around. This full frontal sex show that took place in her home obviously was a shock to Diane, but she also said that it was kind of sweet knowing that ghosts can still feel love in the afterlife. This brought so many questions up in my mind. Do ghosts go on dates? Do they stay in committed relationships? Are they polyamorous? Do ghosts from different periods of time hook up? Well, I think it's safe to say that it doesn't seem like being a ghost is too bad. Coming in at number 8 is possession. I don't know if it is a hard and fast crime, but I think if we could get some sort of ghost law books in place, then it would be one of the first things outlawed. You would never be allowed to possess a person unless they were down and you made a gentleman's agreement to allow that possession to happen. But there have been countless stories of people being possessed by a demon or a ghost or something, and they have done awful things, like when Roland Doe was famously possessed and then he attacked a priest and stabbed him with a spring that he pulled out of his bed. There's no way that taking control of a person's body and then making them assault someone should be legal. Coming at number 7, we have It Wasn't Me. I can't imagine how hard it would be to try and convince a jury that you didn't commit a crime, but it was a bunch of ghosts that are trying to frame you. I mean, that might be a good defense if you want them to send you to the loony bin instead of the big house. But this is what Joseph Hughes tried to do. There was a stockpile of stolen air conditioners in his basement, like 20 of them, and he claimed that they weren't put there by him, but it was in fact a ghost. How could this be true? Could a ghost get his ghost buddies together to steal a bunch of air conditioners? What the hell do ghosts want with 20 air conditioners? Also, what did Joseph Hughes want with 20 air conditioners? Well, he presented his case to a jury of his peers, and although it seemed that he had some pretty creepy footage, no one was buying his ghostly defense. Coming in number 6, we have the ghost affair. Let's head back over to the Reddit verse for another strange happening. Apparently someone wanted to divorce their spouse because they cheated on them with a ghost. I don't know if that's going to hold up in the divorce proceedings. This person stated that their husband had been having a long-term affair with a ghost, and every time she went away for work, he and the ghost would spend the time sleeping together, and her husband has now built a deep relationship with this ghost. She could tell there was something strange about her husband, so she went to see a psychic to get answers. Yeah, because when your marriage is going down the tube, the first person you want to talk to is someone who uses tarot cards to tell you what your future is going to be with a shuffled up deck. Apparently the psychic told her about her husband's spectral side chick, and she came back home furious. He denied it, of course, but she stated that she believed the psychic. If my wife came home claiming that I had cheated on her with a ghost, I would just take the divorce and would be happy she didn't stab me in my sleep. Coming in at number 5, we have ghost harassment. It seems like ghosts don't really know how to respect a person's space. Another article online talked about a man who was being harassed by a ghost, but it might not be in the way that you're thinking. Normally, if a ghost is going to harass you, it's going to knock some stuff over in your home, maybe it's going to push you around a little bit, maybe this ghost will watch you sleep. But this ghost went about it in a completely different way. Apparently every time this ghost would come through, it would leave a terrible stench behind, like an awful stink. Like it could have been the smell of a rotting body, or it could have been just the ghost ripping the worst rotten egg farts that you have ever heard of in your life. Coming in at number 4, we have a ghost that likes to talk trash. Apparently there was a ghost over in Scotland who wanted to give a cop a piece of his mind. There was a teenager by the name of Thomas McGarr who was being arrested, and the cop heard him blurt out some obscenities as he was being arrested, and he wasn't too happy about it, so he slapped on a charge of disorderly conduct on this kid. But the kid swore that it wasn't him, that it was actually a pirate ghost that he saw in that moment. And I think we can all agree, if there's going to be a ghost that's going to hate cops, it's going to be the ghost of a pirate. I don't think pirates accept any form of authority. I'm surprised the ghost didn't take a swig of rum and spit it in the cop's face. Also, if being a ghost means you get to have flings, fart whenever you want, and hang out with pirates, I'm totally excited about dying. It sounds like the afterlife is going to be way more exciting than anything going on today. Coming in at number 3, we have Ghost Punch. Not all ghosts in the world are super cool pirates who want to back you up as you're getting arrested. Some of them are total jerks who think it's okay to come into your home and knock you right in the face. There was a story online about a woman who was having a back and forth with a ghost that was in her home. She would come home and it would have moved everything around in her place and she would have to move it back. It would change the channel as she was watching TV, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff that the ghost would do that made it seem that they weren't on the same page. Well, one day she started screaming at this creeper to get out of her home, and it socked her right in the face. She said it hit her so hard it dropped her to the ground, and she had bruising on her face. Coming in at number 2, getting a little too handsy. There were so many reports online of this happening, it was hard to pick which one, but apparently it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. If a ghost takes a liking to you, it might try to swoop in and cop a feel. If a ghost tries to pull some nasty stuff like that on me, I'm gonna put some holy water on my fist, and the only thing that ghost is gonna be feeling is these hands, baby, these hands. Coming in at number 1, we have ghost murder. Alan Bono was brutally stabbed to death, and the killer was quickly caught when he was found covered in blood and the murder weapon was still in his hand. The killer was Arne Johnson, and he would quickly be taken to court to have the matter settled. But when his attorney came up with the defense that he was possessed by a ghost, then things really turned upside down. It was the first time that someone would pose a possession as a defense for murder. But even with the help of famous paranormal investigators, the jury couldn't get behind this one, and Johnson was found guilty. Alright everyone, that has been the list. Now I'm going to answer some questions from my Instagram inbox. Ariane Fawn wrote in and asked, what are your favorite movies? Top 5 only. This is such a tough question. I'm going to hit you with a few, and there's somewhere in the realm of my top movies. I love The Incredibles. It is for sure on my list. I would also say The Big Lebowski. That is one of my favorite comedies of all time. The Dark Knight is by far the best Batman movie ever. Parasite rocked my world. Even though I've only seen that movie once, it was probably my greatest movie watching experience ever. And finally, I would say Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. The movie has a ton of video game references in it, and it's legit funny, the action is solid, and it all takes place in Toronto, so I definitely have a soft spot for that movie. Lynn7433 wrote in and asked, what is your favorite artist and genre of music? And I think I have to go with lo-fi hip-hop beats to relax/study to. No, I'm just kidding. Although I do love that channel, I actually really don't follow any artists. I'm not super into music. Like, I listen to music probably every day, but just random stuff that I put on, and I'm not anticipating anyone's CD, or I mean anyone's album. I can't believe I just said CD. Some artists I've really liked are like Daft Punk, the Black Keys, the Gorillaz, that's just to name a few, but I couldn't name any of their albums. One time someone told me disco's all about love, so I've recently been listening to that a lot. And then finally, Gimme Wan wrote it and asked, name your childhood dream pet and what would you name it? Honestly, I would just go with a dog. I had a dog as a kid, I want a dog now, I love dogs so much, they are the greatest. If I was gonna name him, I honestly think it would depend on his personality, but I would probably give him a name like Bean or Potato or something. If I was gonna give him a human name, it would be like Gus or Chuck. I always thought those were good names for a dog. Alright everyone, that has been our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been your host, Jay Dorena, and watch out for those ghosts. Yo, my plug is a ghost. He's coming in at number 9. We have Not on the. Apparently the psychic told her husband that the spectral side. Apparently the psychic told her. But at night.